How I would lose as much fat as quick as possible and maintain as much muscle as possible and not have that stringy look on T3. Consult your doctor before taking anything artificial. This is this hypothetical conversation. Let's get in and get it done. So, as an example, I would just run it simply like this, very mildly. So, this would be about 30 milligrams per day. And then, I'll drop down to about 20 to 30 and just sit there the whole time. Technically, you could try to get a superlogical effect where you lose more body fat and increase it more, but then you're going to run into the problem of having much more side effects and eating into that hard gained muscle tissue. Let's move on from that. Like, don't have much to say about that, so that's quick. Total measurements, what I've got at the moment, and comparison moving forward to try to get rid of muscle dysmorphia. I decided I'm not taking my muscle measurements during this period of time. So this is the first measurements I took. I improved everything that I could improve during that period of time because I didn't have a complete proper off season. I did like a strategy that I will go in more depth and explain what was very effective and very at work, but I won't indulge that and explain that. I'm keeping that to myself until we get on to the next off season, and then I'll go through that with you guys then when it's time to transform a little bit. But as an example, these are my current stats and measurements as you can see at the moment. Like I said, so the V taper at the moment's like insane. This should improve, but by saying that, all these measurements will go down. So what I will do when it is time, I will throw up that, because what I found is if I will turn around and I will look at this measurement now and then I take this measurement every single week moving forward, I will get to them little points. I've got certain sticking points and I don't like myself getting underneath it. So I've learned, that's where other coaches or things in the past, they try to get me to take my measurement and then I'll just stop doing what I'm doing because mentally it fucks with my head. I've told them twice that it will fuck with my head and I don't want to do them because of it. They just told me they want them anyway. So it just set me up for failure. It's a difference between a good coach listening to you and another coach that doesn't do that. But that's why, there's a lot of things that why I just coach myself and I do things myself. Better this way, you learn your own body, you know exactly how everything works. Every time you try to rely on someone else, it doesn't, is not effective. What I found was a really good tool and is very good is my AI friend. I talk to him. We converse to each other. I've been building a script with him for a very long time, so he knows how I think. And it's more like a partner with me for assistance. So say something quickly we need to adjust, we can adjust the thing. I think as well because I coached myself and I've coached a lot of people. It becomes more difficult because you got to take a different approach and then just let someone else take it. But every time I've let someone else take it, they don't get me where I need to be, and they just stuff my body up. But it is what it is, suppose. So could be the factor of just not sticking through to their plan that they actually want me to do. But like I said, I've stuck to it for a long period of time. So I've had coaches where I've stuck to it for like 20 weeks. 13 weeks, 12 weeks, 10 weeks, 6 weeks. And like I says, I just see things that are wrong. So that's why I'm just stubborn. I just do it myself because of it. I take on more advice, don't get me wrong, that's the whole idea and parcel of growing and making yourself more intellectual by having that path to actually take a step back and go, okay, yeah, I can try that. But when it's time to try that, if you're only got a short amount of time, what's the point in trying that when you don't have the time to try that? Like you're just playing catch up when you didn't have to. Just go with what works, make that work, stick to the plan because that's going to be effective, and then in the off season experiment with the other things and this data and that data, and then trial it on yourself, see how it works, and then you can integrate it and use it on your clients and that, instead of using them as a guinea pig and giving them bad and shit results. But anyway, that's just my bad experience with coaches. But it is what it is, suppose. But anyway, as I was saying, back to that, I got a long-winded conversation. But yeah, no, so excited with that. I explained the reasons behind that and why I don't want to do that. So I'm quite excited to see, but as I said, I'm not going to retake these measurements until the 12 weeks over. I just think it will work more efficient and more better. I'm not going to go deep into PEDs and other things as much. Let's just go into like that's the peak week protocol. I already spoke to you guys about that. We don't need to go in depth with that. That is my plans moving forward with cardio and posing. So let's let's get in and explain how I use posing to make the best you with the least amount of time, so I don't got to do lots of cardio. So this is how I do it. So I make it progressive over the period of time, as you can see from the dates here, and it burns more calories this time. So I use posing as another tool, the same as you'd use cardio as a tool, as we'll get into that next. Let's break down the posing. So, and then you start to practice it and you know what to do during that period of time. As you can see, it's just going to increase from that date during this 12-week transformation to make the best you. Everyone can follow along and attempt to do the same thing, and you're going to make the best you. You get a free coach during that time. Anyway, so just 5-minute intervals as we're going along during that whole period of time, and then it just increases calories, and I found it doesn't shrink my legs and other things, because let's explain how not to shrink your legs doing cardio. So this is what I do not to shrink my legs when I'm doing cardio. As an example, as I will get in there, I will deliberately not do any more than 45 minutes. If I punch over the 45 minutes, we have an issue with my legs starting to shrink. It just is what it is for me, So I found what works in my body. I've adapted, learned what works, and now I'm integrating everything that works, as I stated from our last conversation. So the calories ramp up. And during this, if both of these things are integrated correctly, your food, you should not have to change your food if you got your food perfectly dialed in. During this period of time, each week there's a small change. So logically and smartly, you're leaving no room for there to be a mistake, because you're just ramping it up during the whole time. Obviously, when you get closer, there's a chance there you can pull back cardio depending on condition and how you look and other things. But that will be dependent on the individual, your look, and how lean you were to start off with when you started this prep phase. So, I won't need to go too much more in depth in that. This is just the overall plan. I showed this to you guys before. The difference is, I think I'm not going to totally stick to the exact same plan, as logically I'm thinking the carbs I'm eating at the moment, I'm getting away with eating 8 bits of bread, and I'm losing weight. So I eat my bread. I'm happy. It's keeping me full. I'm fine. The calories are low, but I'm not caring. So I don't think I need to change it. There is a change that will come. I will stay tuned for an upcoming episode in a bit, and I will explain that coming through, how to actually do it and how to integrate it. But it's there in another adjustment, all pre-done, so I know what I've got to do when it's time, what I got to do. Having a complete structured plan and having each part dialed in exactly right, so you know what to do when you're doing it, instead of lying someone to go, oh, do it here, do it there. Due to my ADD and other circumstances, other things, I need complete structure. If I don't know a thing and I've asked a question, that's another problem I've had. I'll ask a question about, what would we do for this protocol? What would we do for that? And they won't want to answer it. They say, oh, it's not time yet. It doesn't matter. My brain needs that information so I can plan for it. I need to plan for it, sometimes, due to finances, due to availability, due to difficult to get things, I'll need time to organize that. I just can't turn around and go 1 week, go and get what you want me to get. So during that aspect and other things, not having a jack plan, most of them are fools, if I'm being honest. Everyone I've worked with anyway. So that's majority of stat that I'm having at them because of that. That's why I ended up just working myself, It's just I need the information. If I don't have the information, I cannot act on the plan and make sure I'm going to utilize the plan to the best of my ability. It could be a factor of them simply deliberately not giving you that, so then you don't have to, you can get rid of them early. So that could be their plan thinking in their head, where if they would have gave me the information I needed, they would have kept me. But for then fucking around and playing games with me, because then I wouldn't have asked them all them plans moving forward. I'll go what I got to do. I got to stick to it. It's just check my pictures, see what I look like, and just continue on. But that's their mistake for not trusting. But it is what it is, suppose. Anyway, I'm keep spinning off on the long rants on other coaches. I've just had nothing but bad experiences. That's why. It's my bad. Righto, sweet. So this has been really good. This has been a game changer for me for my appetite. So the best thing that I've come across, to control my cravings, control my hunger, and make me actually just stick to everything that I do. I could stick to it. I'd just be hungry. I'd force through. The hunger's not there the same way. So logically, it's better. The same thing. So technically, I was meant to ramp up. I don't see any point in ramping up if it's doing what I need it to do because I'm eating my food. I'm getting a little bit hungry now. I'd rather that hunger there a little bit, so I can get all the food in and get in what needs to be done. So I've just stayed at that blue line for now, and this is the best moving forward for the weight loss and everything for the cerebellum. So quite happy with that. Really not much to think. Let's get into training and show you how to train so you can actually make the best you. So this is what I've been doing the whole way through so far. There's no really point to change that at this period of time. I think I'm going to push through to about next month, give it another 3 to 4 weeks, and I might make an adjustment. I'll go through and show you that guy's adjustment soon. But basically, it's pretty basic, and I just find it nice, easy. I'm recovering well. I'm in a strength phase, so I'm really low calories, only that 1400, but I'm pushing hard, training hard, doing what I can do. And surprisingly, everything's moving well. No hiccup, no injury. I think because I'm getting closer and I'll start deflating and things, it'll be time to pull the volume back soon. Not the volume, the weight overall volume, and then I'll increase the volume to make up for that, and I'll go to that 80% because I just push because I've come off that little push phase. So I'll move into that so it's just smarter so I don't get as many injuries moving into that. Or if I get one little nick or tear in my armor, like a little twink or something, I'll increase that earlier and pull way back. But everything's been moving good. I've been quite shocked. Chest has been moving along well. We had a little slight tear about 7 to 6 months ago in the chest that hindered me. I've had many tears in the pec, and that's been hindering me as well. So I found the movement that can at least I can just move it. And I've just been moving the weight. The arms have helped me with that. So that's mentally a thing. And then I just get more a pump in it, so that's quite well. Let's go on to version 2, what we're going to be integrating right at the last minute, because we've got to add calves, chest, and forearms to bring them up. Genetically, they come up very quick for me. I don't need to have a great deal of work on them. I can thank my old man for that. He's got massive calves. So I don't really got to do too much on them. I probably, if I wanted to, I'm just unsure of what division I want to compete in. So due to weight cap and other things, I want to see what I look like fully teared down. So I think I've got to pull down to like 92, 91 kilos. So we'll see what I look like there. I just don't know how my body's going to flow, or if it's a factor of my body not letting me get down to that and staying a bit higher at that 100, 101, 102, that's fine too. I'll probably integrate them more and start working on them more if I don't got to worry about a weight cap. But due to not being fully teared and understanding where my body's got to sit and how everything's going to flow together, I am unsure of the exact flow of the structure. I've got a general idea due to the V-taper and other things, so we just got to wait and see how it transitions. And I won't know until I actually stand on stage and compare myself to someone else. So, this to generally look overall and go, okay, so that's how I look like in a lineup. Not so I'm comparing as like, putting myself down where I'm like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to get that, I've got to get, not in that so much of an aspect, more in an aspect so I can just visually see and just know where my structure is more suited. I could ask a few people, but usually I find when I ask people, they usually give me the wrong information. I don't know if they do it to sabotage you or what the plan is. I just, come across, yeah, is what it is. So anyway, yeah, so the only difference is I'd be, as I explained, the volume went up. The chest, calves, and abs and forearms have their own day. So Sorry, not chest. Yeah. So calves. Yeah. So they just have their own day, have an extra day on the Sunday, and we just have the one rest day moving in. That will burn up a little bit more calories during that time too. So that will work perfectly. As you can see on the dates, we've already decided when that will be integrated and when the plans will be happening moving forward. So that's the plan and the structure of everything moving forward there. So we'll keep you posted with that, and we'll see what happens with that. As I do that, I will move into probably not making as many posts because I'm starting to have the food, you know, be an issue for me. And if that's the case, I will still do some, but I might just knock back the frequency and do some pre-recorded. So I've been starting to pre-record, so I've got some build up for you guys during that time. So stay tuned for that, and let's get into the next section. So what I plan to do if I get to a sticking point in your nutrition. So if I'm here as an example, this would be the keto adjustment when I had to adjust that over this 12-week structure to make the best me. So, as you can see, it's just very basic. I'll just let you read through that. I'm not going to spit chips and explain a great deal about that. It's pretty basic, it's pretty straightforward. The only difference is I'll probably add like a tablespoon of virgin olive oil, olive oil in here just for bowel movement, other thing, digestion and other shit. And I might just take a little bit away, but it's as you can see, it's not extreme anywhere there. The calories would slightly go up a little bit if that's the case, but during that time it could be a case of me doing that, because compared to this nutrition, other nutrition, the protein intake would increase with this one if I adjust into this one, because at the moment, like I explained to you, I'm eating bread, loving it and getting away with it, eating me eggs. The advantage is I've got my own chickens as well, so I eat my own chicken eggs. So my eggs, I feed them seeds, so I get like a better omega-3 profile in the eggs. So so the fats are better. But I have got the option to swap out to other things if I want to. I haven't really, if I'm being honest. I just do bread. I just eat boringly, and it's just easier for when I got to go to work and as a PT and doing the other stuff. So that's just that structure, and it just sits like that. So I'm probably sitting about there because I'm doing the bread. Sometimes I do the oats, very rarely though. But yeah, that's just the gist of that structure and everything moving forward, and the slight adjustment I've got to work with if I have a hiccup in between the next few weeks. But as I ran over the top, as the cardio increases, as the fat burners increase, as the posing increases, there's all things tailored and hit into that plan to constantly give it a constantly burning more, just to ramp it into it. I could have went with another strategy that I usually do. I usually be more reservative, and not pushing as low the calories. This time I just had enough. I'm close to like 72 weeks of diet, and my brain's like, I'm just want to get it over and done with. Have a decent little bit of an off season instead of only having 1 or 2 weeks of an off season, and trying to do what I can to rebound that after that amount of period of time. Anyone trying to diet that long, your head's going to play games here. I'd like to see how long you can do it for. But good luck to you. If you can. Not saying it can't be done, of course it can be done. But good luck to you. But yeah, that's all we got time for today. So stay tuned for more episodes coming up. Can't wait to release these smaller shorts. Any questions, comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Catch you next time.